Okay guys, we are back finally here with the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season number 7's Class S. It is gonna be Mineski up against Xctn in this best of 3 series where Mineski, well, they took game number 1 extremely convincingly. 21 minutes in, Bloodseeker had 900 plus gold per minute. It was just completely snowballing out of control. More kills than there were minutes in the game on that Bloodseeker. But it's game number 2, should be different, but we'll see. But we're of course HeflaTV, I'm Couchor, and once again I'm gonna be joined by our analyst Kefka. Do you think Xctn can just show us something and make this a best of 3 game? Or best of 3 series actually?
I think they might want to ban Bloodseeker and we'll go from there. I think like last game, if the Bloodseeker, like he dominated so much that it's hard to say how the team stands from just that game. Like sometimes you see the team just outplaying the other team. But last game there was like such a dominant showing from Couchor that it's like you don't know how good Xctn are and if they can win against Mineski.
Yeah, it's not like Xctn's draft was bad or anything. It looked even rather solid. Maybe they should have though left the Undying as like an off-lane role or something like that. Or just have at least like one support who can maybe rotate around early on and make a little bit more happen, but we'll see. Bans though so far Mineski, banning out the Viper as well as a Drow Ranger. So somewhat similar bans as to game number 1. Xctn, I think they banned the Queen of Pain on top of the IO last time.
Yeah, they did. So the difference is the Razors might get through here. But I think it's pretty interesting to see how Xctn responds here to regarding the Bloodseeker last game. He definitely dominated enough to be worth a respect ban here. But since in this patch also there's a lot of heroes that gets through that are first picks, so I think you can ban the Bloodseeker and still do okay. But they're gonna go for the Queen of Pain ban. That's what they did last game, so they're not that phased after the previous game, hopefully. We'll see how if Mineski decides to go with the Bloodseeker again. I think it's probably not as strong on the Dire side because of. Like we saw last game, Bloodseeker got triple raised and was down to 100 HP, ran to the medium cap, and then came back 20 seconds later with full HP.
I mean, it's just... If Mineski go for a Bloodseeker once again, what is even the like best way to counter a Bloodseeker?
I think it's mostly about the mindset that they had last game. I don't think they were ready for Bloodseeker, like as a hero overall. I don't think it's only the draft. I think it's a lot about like knowing what Bloodseeker does, knowing the potential of the hero, knowing how to deal with it, how do you position yourself. Like just having a game against it means a lot when you face it next time. I think. The main reason was the Bloodseeker just ran over them was they only had like one. I guess they had 2 with Axe and Beastmaster having lockdown, but Beastmaster generally goes for the Necromonicon build, so it's not that easy for him to get a good roar off. But at least 2 good stunners against the Bloodseeker, and he's pretty squishy when he goes in too far. Which we actually saw. Beastmaster got a roar off on Bloodseeker and actually pretty much solo killed him when the Beastmaster was 1 versus 5.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible to deal with.
It's probably like best to have really an early 5-man lineup maybe, just to make it so that if you get ruptured you can actually stand your ground and have your teammates help out rather than just having to escape or something like that. But it was just Mineski picking Xctn apart last time, just going for the action on multiple parts of the map so that the TP assistance can't be there and whatnot. But Xctn, they do start the draft same way, Undying. Mineski also had the Gyrocopter, of course. Xctn had the first pick last time around, but really looking similar for now.
Yeah, this is like every game it feels like the same with the Gyro Undying, even though I think, like I said, Gyro it tends to be favorable, but his Gyrocopter doesn't have a lot of HP in the start, so Undying with two decays, Gyrocopter is down to below, like, is close to the 300 mark in base HP, so he gets killed pretty easily with a second hero together with Undying. So you can take advantage of that in the laning phase and just destroy him. But last game he had a hard game in the beginning, but he made a big comeback and did a lot of damage for his team.
Yeah, and all in all, I mean, Charcopter, he has been nerfed a little bit now 2 times in a row. Of course, the first nerf just reducing his intelligence, maybe not as big, but the second one, although I think it was necessary as well to nerf the Rocket Barrage, because without it having a cast point, it was just way too easy to chase people down. Although, as you can see, still just teams favor the hero rather highly, but Mineski's second pick, Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that. I think Undying deals with Spirit Breaker decently, and Witch Doctor is a insta-stun as well. That's pretty good again to have against Spirit Breaker. It doesn't feel like Spirit Breaker is particularly good right now, but it's still a very strong hero, and some teams really like that hero, and you kind of force enemy to have like insta disable so that he doesn't manage to get the charge through several heroes.
The charge can be extremely strong, and of course, as a Spirit Breaker, you want to hit at level 6 as fast as you can, because before that point, like, setting up solo kills is almost impossible, but once you get the Nether Strike, it's just such a huge boost in power.
Yeah, level 6 ultimate, the Nether Strike, yeah, it does so much damage. Like, it's like, if you have usually when we see Spirit Breaker being played, it's usually offlane, and you tend to try and make a smoke gank with the support as soon as Spirit Breaker hits level 6, because he can just initiate with ultimate, and you bash the enemy carry usually back to the support, and then the follow-up is there, and you get a pretty easy pick-off if you do it correctly. And it's in that way you can do a lot of early game getting the advantage, killing the carry, and then like maybe even getting a tower from that, and you can kind of snowball with Spirit Breaker.
Certainly so, and well, as we look at the next set of bans now, we do see respect bans, Mineski banning out the Beastmaster, whereas Execration, of course, we do see that Bloodseeker taken out, but since the Bloodseeker was banned, now it does leave the Storm Spirit in the pool if Mineski would like to go for that one, for example, just because Execration banned out a Storm Spirit last game, I think. Now though, just had other priorities.
Yeah, it's Bloodseeker and Storm Spirit are pretty similar heroes, like they get countered by the same kind of heroes, except Storm Spirit gets a bit more countered by silence, while Bloodseeker can kind of deal with the silence instead. But it's very similar heroes, and maybe Mineski picks up the Storm Spirit now as a similar hero for Couchor here. And Execration does not have that much lockdown right now. Only Witch Doctor with a good stun, and Couchor can catch the storm, but it's not that easy, and he can always jump out of cogs and deal with it pretty good.
Yeah, even the Paralyzing Cask isn't all that great. As long as you have Ball Lightning, you just Ball Lightning towards the Paralyzing Cask, and that's going to be fine pretty much.
Yeah.
Or, well, you have to time it correctly still, but it's not that hard to accomplish. It's not the fastest just projectile from the Witch Doctor there. But they do have Execration that is like a hook shot into Power Cogs, into Maledict and Death Ward. So killing anybody else may not be all that hard. So Mineski might want to invest into a hero that builds 4 staff, for example.
Yeah, usually you want to have a hero that can go 4 staff early against Clockwork. That's how you deal with that hero. We see, saw a lot of Clockwork. Has done really well in this patch, like maybe one of the highest win rate, at least for an offlaner. And it didn't get changed that much, like not at all. I think only Rocket or something like that, like got higher movement speeds. I mean, that's like the travel, like it's faster, like 200 something faster. But it's like suddenly he gets picked a lot more and seems to be a really stable pick for a lot of teams.
Yeah, it really is so true at the moment. I mean, I expected maybe Centaur to be picked once more, but it's probably just teams not wanting to rely on an offlaner who in general just doesn't get a lot of farm in needing a Blink Dagger. Because Centaur, he definitely needs a Blink Dagger, and
yeah, he can't farm really well as well. Like the offlaner that's most similar to Centaur in form of early this game is the Axe. But Axe can always go to jungle and get his Blink Dagger like that. But Centaur can't really go jungle efficiently. It's very hard for him to take Centaur camp and the Ursa Smasher, or what it's named, and that's why he hasn't been picked at all. And he's a bit weaker as an offlane as well. Like, he is pretty squishy if you have some magic damage.
And of course, these days, magic damage is just the thing that it's all about. I mean, Leshrac at the moment as well, a huge source of that one. But is this a mid lane Leshrac we're seeing?
I think it's gonna be mid lane or carry. That's what I've seen most. I've seen both. I think I've seen like 50-50, I'd say, of mid and carry. And I personally prefer him to be mid, because he gains a lot of levels there, and he can spam his lightning bolt to push the wave and get runes, and can also jungle decently, so I prefer him as a mid hero, but he can still do carry.
Of course, now Execration, even though they can be extremely strong early on, going into the later stages of the game, well, I suppose Leshrac still pumps out a hell of a lot of damage even later. But Mineski already having a Rubik, that's going to be somewhat useful in itself by having the null field, the magic resistance as an aura there. So that's going to be somewhat nice, but Execration now in the end, banning out the Storm Spirit because Mineski went for a Lina instead. So it does mean that Execration expect this Lina to be a support.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they run him. I think Lina, it's hard to say now with... I've seen Lina mainly support now with the new patch, but it's seen some core roles as well. Maybe even more as a carry, more than a mid. But I really like these pickups from Mineski. I think they can deal with the Execration's lineup very well. Leshrac tends to be squishy for quite a long time before he picks up maybe Bloodstone plus one item even. And they have Spearbreaker, Gyrocopter and Lina, who all can like kind of nuke down a hero very well. So I think they have a really good lineup so far.
Yeah, it's really up to the Clockwork to get some decent farm, first of all to tank up, otherwise he hookshots in but might like die straight after almost. But they need really something to zone people out from the Leshrac, and well, they will go for a Medusa now, a hero that I haven't seen for the longest time, but the Stone Gaze is maybe gonna be enough to buy that extra couple of seconds in the fight for the Leshrac to just keep on spamming those spells.
Medusa and Undying is a pretty strong combo. It's very hard to fight into them. But the weakness is that you're kind of very static. But thankfully, you're like a good thought out rough execution. They have 3 really good stuns in Witch Doctor, Couchor, and Leshrac. All can keep the enemies like close to the team of for the team, close to Tombstone and Medusa. So they have a pretty good lineup overall, I'd say. I think it was a Medusa tends to be kind of bad at chasing heroes, and it's very static together with the Tombstone, but I really like what they have together with those two.
Yeah, so definitely getting a synergy between their teams, so that's nice, but we'll see how much farm this Medusa can actually get as Mineski. Their own last pick was the Shadowfiend here for Cuckoo, so this means that Lina will be in the support role together with the Rubik, but that's already plenty of setup, and to be honest, wouldn't even be the worst kind of tri-lane, although facing a Witch Doctor, Leshrac, Undying tri-lane may not be the easiest of things. But if it should be tri-lane versus tri-lane with Leshrac, Witch Doctor, Undying on the Radiant side and Lina, Rubik, Gyrocopter on the other one, who would win the tri-lane on paper?
I'm not sure. I think it would be very even. I think it would be pretty much even, and just maybe a misplay from either team could mean the matchup goes in the other one's favor.
Yeah, it looks like neither side really wants to just take those chances. Of course, Execration... Oh yeah, never mind, Leshrac was never going to be a part of the tri-lane because, well, they have a Medusa, although...
Yeah.
Medusa can easily be in the mid lane as well. Primo used to be the mid lane player at least for Execration. Maybe it's going to be the safe lane this time around, but... we shall see. To introduce the lineups though, once again for Execration on the Radiant side this time, it's gonna be Fox playing the Leshrac with Primo on the Medusa, Chemo to be the Undying, leaving BG01 with the Witch Doctor, and the last one is gonna be Yui once more on the Clockwork.
On Mineski's side, you see Jesse Wash here on the Spirit Breaker on bottom line already placed a ward, and G on the Lina playing support here, and they placed a good lane ward here as well, which can be very good. 5593 Ova on the Rubik, and Cuckoo on the Shadowfiend, and then Jules on the Gyrocopter. It's gonna be a big engagement here, it looks like.
Tombstone already down, Cuckoo dropping down to half HP before he gets a single raise off. Gonna be first blood drawn once again, but they're gonna get the second kill, and this time around there's not gonna be a retaliation kill from Mineski. So Execration once more drawing first blood just like in game number 1, but this time around they get even one extra, and Mineski, they're gonna struggle in this lane now because of this probably. There's gonna be an aggressive tri-lane coming out from Execration, but well, it should be fun to see this lane, how it works out, but Execration, they're gonna hit that level 2 a little bit earlier, and once they do, just Mineski have to be afraid.
I think it's gonna be very hard for Mineski now, giving up that those 2 kills, also the bonus. So this Lesha can get early boots and maybe even arcanes to help his teammate sustain mana, and it's gonna be very hard for Mineski this try lane, I think.
Yeah, if he gets those early arcane boots, it's definitely gonna be devastating. Just allowing the Undying to spam decay a couple of extra times, or even just for the Witch Doctor to just have more mana for the Voodoo Restoration, for example, they will definitely have a lot of sustain. They even have 2 mangoes as well to just give them a little bit of extra mana early on if necessary. Mid lane, it is gonna be the Medusa farming up against the Shadow Fiend, and to be honest, Medusa should be able to farm up rather easily. Of course, he can't really stop Shadow Fiend from farming that efficiently himself, but both mid laners should be able to farm up quite a bit.
Yeah, Mystic Snake can push out the way, but I think Shadow Fiend will have his advantage when he gets a few levels. I wonder if Medusa is gonna try and get phase to get some extra damage so he can keep up. Looks like a Wraith Band is coming out, so he wants to get some more damage to keep up with Shadow Fiend when he gets his stacks. But it should be pretty even. I think it's gonna favor Shadow Fiend slightly. And on bottom lane, also it's pretty even matchup. I think this can go either way, because both are pretty tanky, and with a few bashes, Spirit Breaker can always get a kill. Actually on top lane. Oh.
Man, I completely missed it. But it was just the Witch Doctor pretty much staying too far behind of his own team there.
Yeah, I saw him like running in the river a bit, and I was like, oh, actually in mid lane it's pretty low here. Shadow Fiend taking a lot of damage from the Mystic Snake, but he's gonna survive. Yeah, he ran around in the river below the big camp there, and he got thrown up on high ground from the Rubik, I think.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's nice execution if they did it like that, but still, it is a kill lead for Execration farm-wise. Looking pretty solid for them on all lanes at the moment. Bottom lane, Clockwork, he's just completely zoning out. Jesivash getting those power calls like that. And, well, both of them are out of mana now, but UV has a 8 lasted lead at the moment. So Spirit Breaker struggling a little bit, but not the hero that requires the most amount of farm early on, because you just do want at level 6. Start charging around and just setting up kills for your team.
Yeah, he's got a big creeper. Unfortunately, he's not getting lost on the tower. Otherwise, he would have been almost caught up with the
top lane though. Split Earth does miss, but with the Tombstone down, they probably get the kill, and what a time to pause.
This is gonna be at the Rubik, I think. They can't really turn around, I guess. Tombstone is level 1 still, I think. Yeah, so it's pretty squishy, so they could maybe get that down at least and get some extra gold, I think.
Yeah, the Telekinesis is stunned, the drop down of it will stun the other 2 as well, but yeah, the Fate Bolt.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of harassment from their own side, but there wasn't much to be done once he already got slowed by the Lightning Storm to begin with.
Yeah, he was pretty much dead. Pretty squishy against what Execration has. And they're having a much better start than last game, so far at least. With their lanes kind of winning, both mid and bottom are winning slightly, are actually winning pretty good, and top lane also dominating.
Yeah, and I mean this time around they even have like a much better lineup towards the late game as well. So all is looking good, but Mineski, they still have like a timing to hit once they get their ultimate jewels. Wants to go aggressive, but that was a big mistake. I have no idea what he was thinking, but he's gonna pay the price for it. He gets a little bit of counter damage done, but why would he go in like that against 3 heroes?
Oh, Clockwork might get thrown up on high ground on bottom lane. No, he did not try. And I wonder if they will pick up Clockwork. Clockwork is pretty tanky here. And he could actually turn on the Rubik.
And he can get both kills even if he's lucky enough. Fatebolt comes out to reduce the damage a little bit, but Owa, I think he dies to the pushback, and she was just not doing nearly enough damage to the Clockwork. That was unfortunate. He really should have just gone, or at least tried to go for the telekinesis to the high ground.
Yeah, Clockwork had a ward, so he saw it last second, so he moved himself to the mid a bit more, middle of the river, so it wasn't able to get thrown. I think it's not impossible that he could have gotten stuck on high ground, but I think Ova made a decision that it's pretty unlikely that he will get thrown up, and he's just gonna leave him so that the Rubik, they could maybe get a kill, but it meant his death instead.
So Execration, a 4-kill lead already, 5 minutes in, only jewels. He's still getting a reasonable amount of last hits, although Leshak of course is pulling out ahead. It's still 17 on the gyro. Spirit Breaker now also catching up a tiny bit, Jesivash sitting on 16. So it's still not all bad for them, but then again, Medusa also farming in the mid lane, 22 last hits. Do we have any stacks though? Only, well, 2 double stacks. One in the big and one in the medium camp for the Shadow Fiend. Just gonna go and farm those up for now.
Yeah, Gia unfortunately missed. She stacked trying to get the big camp and the medium camp at the same time, but missed one. Otherwise, it would have been a triple stack. But it's still quite a lot of farm for Shadow Fiend here, and he's gonna be top when lost it thanks to that.
Oh, the charge is gonna come in. There's the telekinesis already, rocket barrage, as well as the light strike ray with the dragon slave. Although there's a splitter onto Rubik, so they get the kill, but the charge it did go onto Witch Doctor instead. But will he even be there in time, Jules? He might just lose his life before. No, never mind. It was just Leshrac, too low on mana. The charge coming in. He's level 6 as well. I think they're gonna get the kill with the help of rocket barrage level 2. Although some of it goes to the creeps. Light strike ray does not even come out in time, but they really needed those kills and quite nicely done as a gank.
Yeah, was no mana on Leshrac, they couldn't stop the... No mana on Witch Doctor either, so they couldn't stop the Spirit Breaker and just came in and ultimated. I'm a bit surprised that the Couchor didn't TP, but I guess they made a decision that there's no mana. And actually Jules on top lane is gonna get dive, but there's a Spirit Breaker there to stop them.
Oh, but I thought for a second he might go for more, but without another strike, can't really take that chance, to be honest.
And the Clockwork moving to the jungle. He has been spotted by the ward off, so I don't think he's gonna get a pick off. Gonna be a waste of time, I think. Actually, Jules is very low. Oh my god. Was so close to hitting hookshot blind completely, but it was very close. He could have gotten a kill on Jules there, and that would have been horrible for the Clockwork. I mean, the Gyro.
So, 7 minutes in. There's not much of a lead for Execration, although they have a 3 kill lead. It's only about 1k in net worth, 500 in XP. I mean, it's still nice to have a lead, but for a second when it was 5-1 in kill score, I thought they may be able to just get a little bit more out of that as well. But Mineski are starting to be a little bit more active on the map now, although Spirit Breaker. Oh, I'm lagging completely. Is it the server messing up for?
It seems to be lagging a bit for me, but I'm somewhat smooth. Actually, it's back now.
I'm completely stuck. So.
Okay. And on top lane we see Gyrocopter getting dived, and it looks like he will don't go down. He's doing a lot of damage though, so they might be able to turn it. He's finally going down, but they're pretty overextended here. But they have backup as well from Clockwork. Requiem coming out, not doing that much, and it looks like Leshrac will go down from the side of Execration. Clockwork gets a good cog on the Shadow Fiend. Looks like he might go down, but he's actually manning up, and Clockwork could go down here. Not sure if he will manage to pick up the Shadow Fiend. Yes, it looks like the Witch Doctor casts ensures the kill together with Clockwork. But they lost 3 heroes on the side of
They might lose another one. BJ1 gets charged by Chesivash, gets the bash afterwards as well. So in the end, it's a massive, massive win for Mineski. Although they did lose the Charo early on and the Shadow Fiend as well a little bit later. It's still just 2 for 4, I believe. Although Medusa is farming at the same time. It's still just really nicely done by Mineski, and the Spirit Breaker, I have to say, doing a lot of work there.
Yeah, this is exactly how you want it to happen. Like, the more standing and you come in with the charge and really turn the fight. But Execration are still doing pretty damn good in this game, and the two-stone goes out on top lane actually.
What? He's gonna go down to the Soul Rip, such a huge range from that one. Jules trying to TP out, Splitter on cooldown of course. So he's gonna make it just before the Rocket Flare arrives, although Rocket Flare only level 2, so probably wouldn't have gotten the kill anyway, but the charge coming in onto Chemo. Is Chesivash gonna just follow up on that? No, he's gonna cancel it, and probably the wise choice.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend taking top net worth right now, but it's still looking very good for Execration. They have 3 heroes are all at the top, after the Shadow Fiend of course, but they will be able to take down the first tower in this game on the top lane.
Yeah, Execration definitely taking much better command of this game than of game number 1 for now. And it's also the fact that Medusa hasn't even joined the fight, although has a haste rune at the moment, not carrying a TP though for some reason. But, well, I suppose he doesn't need to carry a TP when the entire team is coming his way. And, well, already pings go out on the tier 1 in the mid lane. And Execration, if they're really S5, if they have all of their ultimates up, can Mineski even fight into that?
Double smoke from Mineski, but Execration are grouped up, so I don't think the smoke will do that much. And they're pushing the tower in mid, and not sure if Mineski wants to defend this. They might just try and look for trades and get some farm on other heroes.
Oh man, it's just Diabolic Edict, even being only level 1, still quite nice.
Oh, top lane. It's also a hook Clockwork going on the Shadow Fiend, but there's a backup coming as well.
Yeah, that backup couldn't have come at a better time to us, although the Cogs, they push him back and Chesivash doesn't have enough mana for the ultimate anymore. We might be able to survive just because of that. No wand charges, no urn either. Rubik in the meantime picks up a double damage Leshrac. He gets the tower down, but that power cog pushback just preventing the mana for Nether Strike, man, definitely saved him.
On bottom lane, we see ultimate from Gargoyle to come up and Rocket Barrage, an easy kill on Couchor. They just TP'd bottom after he almost got killed on top lane. And yeah, he really wanted to die.
I don't think he... Death.
Yeah. It was, I think Spiritbreaker regrets that he bought Urn here, and he would have probably preferred Threads, so he could Thread swap and get the ultimate off. But it might have been for the better, because Gyro could pick up the kill in this way. Yeah,
and this way it's also just Shivash still having the ultimate if necessary, although the thing is, he still will not have enough for a charge plus the ultimate. So to be honest, as long as he doesn't have both spells available, he's not terribly effective on the map, and well, Xctn, they're just going at it methodically, first taking the top tier one, moving towards the mid, and now they're on the bottom lane. But Mineski, they do seem to be ready. Oa has himself a, well, level 1 decay stolen, so not that big of a deal. But he's in the sidelines waiting for the tombstone to be dropped by Chemo.
Yeah, he wants to have that tombstone. It's pretty... Tombstone versus tombstone is a pretty interesting... It looks very funny.
It looks crazy as all. Oh, but the catch Chemo call down with a telekinesis. He pops his flesh golem. I think he's gonna be able to survive. Yeah, they were just blocked in a little bit. He does get the tombstone stolen. A charge coming in as well. Gio, can he get the Dragon Slave? Laguna Blade is there. He's gonna pop it. He wants Fox, but he's gonna go for the kill that was just there for him easier. But they still might get another kill there. Yui trying to zone people out, but Jessiva just charges through those power cogs like it's nothing. And does have the Nether Strike, but goes on to PGO1 instead. They get an easy kill, but Clockwork may be able to survive because of that. The focus fire was a little bit weird, going for the supports rather than the cores, but in the end, they do also find Fox, who just hung around for way too long.
Yeah, he tried to save Witch Doctor by using stun, but he already went down, and now he fed himself as well, which was pretty bad. But I thought that could have been really good for Xctn, because it was a bit of a misplay from Gyro, not moving in with Battery Assault, Rocket Barrage correctly on Undying, but it didn't matter that much, and they got the majority of kills in that fight.
Primo, he does have just enough mana for his ultimate. He's gonna have to pop it. He does so. Call down. Will it land? They got the telekinesis call down. The first hit, I think. No, never mind. Just a charge pushback. I think pushed Primo just out of cooldown. Oh man, that's as unfortunate as can be. And suddenly Yui, he's around. We'll have a hookshot in 1 second. They might be able to turn this around, but no, they're not gonna take the chance for now.
Yeah, they don't wanna go too far unless they find a more squishier. Actually, I think he might have been spotted. It doesn't look like they saw him either way.
He's just gonna go for the... but Gio, he has a 4-staff already, so he's gonna be fine for now. He gets the hookshot, or Gio, is he gonna be fine? Nope. Chemo comes in with a decay and no soul rip yet. And well, it's gonna be a 1-for-1 support for support.
Yeah, it was a 2 versus 4 fight. Actually, and it was pretty even, I guess. The Tombstone might have been more gold in favor of Mineski, but they made some space for Leshrac on bottom lane, and Mineski committed more heroes. So it was just a trade, doesn't matter too much.
Charge coming in onto Leshrac, but can he get the kill solo? Because Leshrac has the point boosted, double bracers as well. Yeah, it's gonna cancel. It just wanted to arrive towards the bottom lane, I suppose. Stop the push from happening.
Yeah, with the double bracer, there's no way he can get the solo kill, even if he is a Bash Lord, but he gets farm on bottom lane, so that's probably what he wanted. Not sure what he's gonna go now, if he's gonna finish Threads. He's stacking up quite a lot of gold. I'm interested to see what he decides to do, because I think he should have picked up Threads already if he went for that. But otherwise it would be like Necro, but that's no point, I think.
You will see what he wants to go for now, but looking at this just game in general, Mineski have pulled ahead in kills, only by 1 of course, but it's still Xctn, all 3 cores getting some pretty good farm. And if this goes late game, it's somewhat hard to say who has like a clear advantage, to be honest. Both sides have definitely strengths in the later stages of the game. But do you think Mineski should try to make a little bit more happen, or is it fine with them just also farming up?
I think it's fine for them farm up. I think Xctn is gonna make the first move to try and push a bit harder than, so they just have to wait until that happens. I think a lot of this game depends on the Clockwork Eve here. Is gonna have to make the plays. I think he needs his blade mail, and when he gets blade mail, I think he's the one that has to like get the correct hooks and tank the damage and reflect it back. So I think he has a lot on his shoulder, and I hope he performs well.
Well, definitely has been playing a pretty solid Clockwork game this time around. Even last game, even though they lost, Clockwork wasn't to blame for that for sure. But they're trying to find Couchor and they should be able to get it. The hookshot is there, Seraphine. Don't think he can escape. The Death Ward even used. Well, he has the mech, but it's just not nearly enough cooldown though. And the Death Requiem Yui, he's gonna go down himself. Laguna Blade was used. Overkill, I'd say, but it's on a short cooldown. So in the end, they do get the trade at least.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of the Gyro ultimate, but he should probably have stayed together with the Tombstone, because I don't think Mineski would have went for the kill then, but it's hard to say, hard to like read the situation correctly there, because he doesn't know if they're coming from the river from the mid lane or together with the Gyro, so... But it's still a good trade for them, getting the Shadow Fin for the trade of Clockwork is very well. Not sure if he managed to pick up lane mail, no he did not manage to pick up the last part before he died, so that's a bit unfortunate for him.
It's still gonna be there soon enough for him, and on the same time, Shadow Fiend, he's going for the Yule Scepter after the mech. Of course, this game, there is quite a bit to dodge, I suppose. Quite a bit to just give you extra survivability while you're in those cogs, just a way to get out somehow. But Execration still, they've slowed down at least in terms of pushing. They haven't been able to do all that much damage to the tier 1 on this bottom lane. But Couchor at the moment, going in pretty deep. There's another hookshot available for the Clockwork if he were to come to the bottom lane. Does have a TP on cooldown though.
Yeah, Rocket Player scouts them out, so... Actually, that was Rubik's Rocket Player, yeah. It looked a bit weird. I was like, isn't Clockwork on opponent team? But he scouted them out with the stolen Rocket Player, so... Cuckoo knows what's up, and his area is gonna fall back. A lot of grouping up now, like, both teams have like 3 and 3, and then 2 heroes running around farming. But like we'll see how this guy decides to build now as well. I think he's gonna rush BKB, but I'm not sure. He has picked up the drums.
So by the way, I have a question for you as an ex like pro, semi-pro player. If your teammate is dying, how big is the urge to just try to go and say, oh, never mind, wait for that Primo? He gets charged in, no Nether Strike though. I think he was hoping to get the Stone Gaze to be used. But more TPs to come. Couchor, he might get hookshotted once more. Can he dodge it? Jukes? No, he's trying to, but no hookshot for now. But if your teammate is dying, how big is the urge to just try to go in and help, even if you know that it's hopeless and you might just both die randomly?
I don't know, if your teammate is a whiner, you probably want to try and save him, because otherwise he's gonna be, why didn't you help me? But it's a very hard decision to make in a lot of, like, sometimes if you have like example Clockwork or Rareshake, discount initiation heroes, even if your, let's say, carry is down to 100 HP, if you get a good return, you can turn it around really good, but you have to learn when to not save as well, because the Leshak died earlier because of that reason, and it can, if you do it 1 or 2 times, you can lose the game because of that.
Yeah, it's just, when I used to actually play Dota in pubs, I developed a saying, is like, never go help retards. Of course, if you're in an actual team, it's not like that, but...
It's usually actually I think, at least from my experience, it's usually the person who's dying who's saying, don't save me, and then like the team is coming in and dying.
It's like a reaction. You want to save your teammate. You're playing a team game after all. It's like one for all for one.
Yeah, it's also like a game of inches when, like, if let's say you have a blink mech and you blink in and mech your teammate and he dies not even half a second, like a millisecond before you manage to get the mech off, and you lose both heroes. And if you had got the mech off, you would have turned it around. Like it can be so close sometimes when you try and counter initiate.
Oh yeah, I've had those feelings way too many times. At the moment though, Mineski, as we look at the graphs, you can see that they are the ones having the lead now, about a 2000 net worth lead, XP 4k plus Jules, just waiting for his flak cannon to come off cooldown, and hasn't gone for the Helm of the Dominator. So farming isn't as easy for him, or well, it's still just as easy, but he's just losing life while doing so. But he's gonna go for BKB next.
Yeah, I think he needs the BKB. He could have gone for maybe the Helm of Dominate or the casual Morbid Mask, but he really wants the BKB early here as well, as since the majority of damage from Execration are of that type. But 2 4-stars up on Mineski, both supports actually picked up one, so this Clockwork is gonna have somewhat of a hard game to get the good initiation, since it's very well picked up from Mineski, I think, to both have 4-stars, because you really need at least one against this hero.
Yeah, it's just so damn great, to be honest. But Yui, he's looking for that angle. He's up front. There's the cooldown. It's gonna hit 2, although the second bounce will completely miss. So it's kind of a zoning one, but the charge is incoming from a really long distance. They have a TP as well on the Shadow Fiend. He's already coming in. There's the telekinesis onto Fox. Light Strike Ray, Laguna Blade, Dragon Slave, and they get the kill. Kimo though, can he do anything? The charge coming in gets through both BGL1. They get the Nether Strike. They get one down. Yule Scepter now onto Undying. Requiem of Souls waiting for him with the Light Strike Ray. 3 easy kills. Cuckoo with the triple.
Yeah, that's the part where you have to realize the Leshrac is dead and you have to fall back. But like, since he's a core, you really want to save him. But there was no saving him because this Medusa is not doing anything but farming right now. Only been a part of 1 kill with the 1 assist. And he hasn't even, I don't even know like how Execution's game plan is now, because they're like grouping up 4 and letting Medusa farm, but they're still trying to take the big team fights, and they can't really fight 5 versus 4 like that.
Yeah, it's just them forcing the issue. They should have been aware that Mineski can come in rather easily, so, or at least like use the rocket flare properly to scout out before going for such a push. But Spirit Breaker just came in fast enough, having the speed of, or the charge of darkness maxed. But before this fight, it was fine for the Medusa to farm because he was number 1 in net worth. Yeah. But he's still doing fairly fine for himself, has I think the second ultimate orb already. Yeah, so in about 300 gold, the Eye of Skadi will be finished. So he's definitely gonna bulk up, just be pretty damn tanky, but he's still not gonna be dishing that much damage himself.
No, the Skadi will make a big difference though for... so they can't kill Tombstone and things like that, they can fight a bit better, but Mineski are both their carries with the Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter almost having their BKBs now. The Shadow Fiend is 800 gold away, I think the same on Gyrocopter.
Even the Spirit Breaker is like 700-800 gold away from his.
But I think it's gonna be very hard then.
Oh, Primo! He's gonna pop the Medusa Stone Gaze. Jesse was just going for the TP out. Primo not running in front of him, although he's gonna kill the courier. Oh man, that was just a smoke. That was not worth it. It's a lot of gold given away.
Yeah, it was.
And that's also like the BKB. Nobody to carry it anymore for those players.
Yeah, it's a mistake, but I'm not sure if they can do anything about it because Mineski still have the Aegis. But it looks like Execution wants to get up here and take the bottom tower now that they have maybe a timing here. Yeah,
it's not really only the timing, it's also Mineski just being out of position, although a couple of TPs are already arriving. Lina has a level 2 Laguna Blade as well. Dragon Slave comes out first, but I think this tower is probably gonna go down. There is no glyph to defend it.
Yeah, this tower is gonna go down. But meanwhile, Gyrocopter is doing a lot of damage on the top tower. Not sure if they'll decide to push or defend that tower. It looks like they want to push.
Yeah, it's just Gyrocopter. He should be fairly safe to escape, although Kimo, Jesivash gets scouted out, but charges away. Is he gonna cancel the charge? He is. Oh, never mind. He found himself a Witch Doctor. Gets it bash straight after the Nether Strike with the Urn. I think he's gonna get the kill, or is he? He needs one more attack, but the Split Turf is canceling it. There's the, not the charge, the Death Ward coming out. The BJ1, he will survive. Voodoo Restoration, too strong. Lina in the backlines also surviving with like 100 health, even less at the time. But Cuckoo, he's the one to get stunned up, but has the Aegis Jewels. He comes in, but is he gonna go down? He gets the cooldown onto Fox though. They have a Tombstone right at the side, but Fox gets 2 just stacks and they don't even kill the Shadow Fiend. I was so sure they're gonna get the Aegis at least.
It looks like a really good fight at the start from Execution, but they're diving way too deep. They have to realize when they can't finish off the heroes and just take the tower instead. They did 1 damage to the tower there because of their big dives. But it's really like when Lina is 1 heart attack from dying, it's really tempting to like chase very hard. But
I think like Spirit Breaker charging into the sidelines, even though he didn't get the kill on the Witch Doctor, it still just got the Death Ward, got the Leshrac focusing on him. Otherwise, had the Leshrac gone towards the Lina with like 1 Lightning Storm and the rest of the heroes, it could have been a completely different fight.
Yeah, it was pretty close. If Clockwork had a force left that fight, I think they would have won it completely, unless buybacks from Mineski. But he was so close to getting double cogs on Lina and Shadow Fiend, but he couldn't really manage. And after that, he just died way too deep, and then everyone from Execution just fell 1 after 1. But I don't know. It really looked like we got a hint of how good Execution's teamfight are, though. I feel like. Because they really took control of the beginning of the fight, but then just dove a bit too deep. But even though Mineski are farming a bit better, they still have good team fights.
Yeah, I think that fight, it was mostly starting good for Xctn just because Mineski, they weren't exactly ready for it. Chisivash, he just got scouted out in the trees and they were forced to just go do something about it. But now there are the BKBs finished on Jules, the Shadow Fiend, as well as I think, no, Spirit Breaker doesn't quite have his, but only needs another 300 gold or so. Mid lane though, Cook gets the Yule Scepter, Requiem of Souls, BKB combination, but Fox runs just far enough away, although Chemo still comes in, Flesh Golem activated, Death Ward comes out, Cuckoo. He's just gonna lose his Aegis here, does have the mech still, not gonna pop it before he dies, or is he? He is, just wants to stay alive longer. Fox takes so much damage from the telekinesis. What do we have? Stolen Paralyzing Cask, is not gonna use it yet, 4 steps away, but there's the hook shot straight after the Aegis. Fox comes back in with a Lightning Storm on low, nice 4 step from Geo. Yule Scepter once more from Cuckoo, but he needs to get rid of the zombies. But in the backlines, charge coming in, hits 2 heroes. Fox, Nether Strike comes in and Jules helps out with the kill. Although committed suicide by the Bloodstone, it is still Bloodstone charges lost. And Yui now gets stunned up. The Light Strike Array will follow, but there's not enough mana for a Laguna Blade. They don't even need it with Primo, or not Primo. Cuckoo getting the kill, although Primo does do quite a bit of damage, but Yule Scepter does make it so that he dodges the charge. Paralyzing Cast will bounce through, Chemo comes in, but the bounces just keep on going. No more mana shield, but they can still continue. They're too low themselves.
Yeah, it looks like they will be able to pick unless he managed to charge away, and he does.
The 4 step cancelled the charge.
Yeah, it did, but he should be fine. Actually, it was close on.
What a crazy fight.
Yeah. It was. It took actually Primo would get everyone, I thought, and then the Undying TP's in and the cast just bounces on those two. I think Primo even could have 1 versus 3 them and still got out ahead. And Kimmo didn't even need to be there, but
it was really the Undying coming in that screwed over the Medusa.
Yeah.
I mean, Paralyzing Cask, just such a sneaky little stun.
Yeah, they didn't really react well either. Like, they kind of panicked a bit instead of moving apart and then going back together after the cask ended. They're like, both were kind of moving forwards, but not to the side completely. So it was a bit awkward. And I think they could have gotten big kills there on Primo, and really...
Just look at the lead that Mineski has gotten now. 14,000 in XP, about 8,000 in gold as well. It's just them winning, I think now 3 fights in a row pretty much, right?
Yeah, they pretty much won the last fights, and they're still pretty close, but every fight goes slightly in favor of Mineski, and then they just have better farmers. With the Ancient have been stacked quite a lot for Gyrocopter, and Shadowfiend just splash farming like he always does, so they get ahead a lot more than just the fights.
Oh, we have a pretty key pickup now. Rubik, he's had the 4 star for quite some time, but now also gets himself a Blink Dagger. So Rubik's positioning should be pretty spot on now. Geo went for a Shadow Amulet, so might be going for a Shadow Blade on the Lina. But 5 heroes are there. Yui trying to come in from the side, get the correct angle, and well, he's gonna find Rubik, I think. Stone Gaze was already used, though. Yule Scepter is there as well onto Cuckoo. Doesn't get off a BKB. Taking a lot of damage. Is there gonna be a Death Ward? Split the Earth to stun him up. Cuckoo pops the mech. Charge coming from Chisivash. They have too many BKBs. Requiem of Souls just completely wrecks the Undying, and Fox, well, he's forced to run away, as is everybody else. The cooldown will completely miss, though. And Chisivash just a little bit too far ahead. Goes down more or less the same way he died in the bottom lane earlier on, just to the Leshrac Witch Doctor combination, but it's still a 3-for-1 trade.
Yeah, Yules are still chasing, but I don't think they would manage to pick up any kills. I think that looks like a really good... I think all fights looks good for Execration, but I think Mineski just too far ahead and maybe kind of moving a bit better in the team fights. Like the Tombstone was really good, and Clockwork did a good initiation on the backlines, but they're lacking damage. Leshrac couldn't really get into the fight, and the BKBs, or when they come out, there's nothing to stop the damage from Mineski. They just kill everyone.
Yeah, they really do rely at the moment on getting like a massive Leshrac just combination off, or Leshrac being in the fight for a really long time. Or maybe a nice Death Ward to help in just clearing out those BKB targets, but it's just Spirit Breaker. Yes, he died once again, but he still just forced out the Death Ward by the Witch Doctor, forced the Leshrac to just deal with 1 hero. And Lightning Storm, it can hit up to 7, I believe. Yeah, up to 7 targets. So if you only can use it onto 1, it's just a massive loss of DPS.
Yeah, and the initiation was so good, getting the Shadow Fiend before he popped BKB. And then they had so good follow-up stuns, but they lacked the damage to take him down. And if they had gotten the Shadow Fiend there, I think they would have won the team fight. But I think he tanked so much more than expected. I guess Leshrac damage get nullified by him turning into stone, which is a bit...
yeah, the combo isn't the greatest.
yeah, it's a bit sad that for Leshak that's how it works, but that's the way the game is, so... but Wish Doctor didn't get off his... I guess that could have been a difference if he got ultimate off on Shadowfin, but they were like gyrocoptering in from the backlines, Spirit Breaker charging through everyone as well, so it's not that easy to get a good ultimate off.
Yeah, it's really them Xctn needing like first an Aghanims on Witch Doctor, then getting the Stone Gaze onto multiple targets for them to take extra physical damage from the Death Ward. But Xctn, I mean, they can definitely still fight, although, well, Undying Chemo is trying to build for a mech, although Charge in the meantime onto Yui. Does have a Glimmer Cape, and I don't think there's detection, the cooldown comes out, but Yui, not using the Glimmer even, but he's pretty tanky, although he's gonna get hit, of course. Homing Missile does hit Invis targets, and Glimmer Cape is gonna wear off. They saw him running.
They have to be careful here, Mineski. I think they're gonna lose at least one, unless Yeswash can tip out actually some cooldown, so he has no way up, unless charging out.
Yeah, BKB charge just guaranteed
what a hero.
escape.
It's pretty sad to play against a hero when that happens. You think you got the kill and then like he's just gone. It's pretty sad to play against.
Well, at least they get yeah, it was a 9-second BKB charge, so it's still something that they gained, although in the meantime, Cuckoo has managed to farm up an Eye of Skydia. Chem now on Rubik as well, just going around with that one, dewarding. Glimmer Cape on Lina. Oh yeah, I totally forgot the Glimmer Cape from the Shadow Amulet.
Yeah,
Man,
so
new items.
Yeah. It's pretty good to have Glimmer Cape on. I think both team has at least one. I think the Couchor has one, and Lina don't think anyone else has anything.
Oh,
but it looks like they want to go Roche, but both teams are gathering up here.
Oh man, Cuckoo, I think he's gonna get wrecked here if he just goes. He has double damage, so I can definitely see his temptation to go for it, but they just need all of their heroes present. Jesiwash, of course, he can start charging, but if he starts to charge from his base, it's gonna take a pretty long time.
Yeah, charging Couchor, who's like on the other side, is completely alone.
Who's gonna charge straight through Roche Pit like this? Look, can anybody stun him? Nope, yeah. Just charges. There's a telekinesis onto UV, charge forward. Light Strike Array, Laguna Blade. They get the Clockwork, and now can they clean up some more Cuckoo? He's gonna get, well, he has a Yule Scepter to buy some time. Although I think the Stone Gate should still go. Nope, he gets the BKB Requiem of Souls as well. But Petrification got stolen. Requiem of Souls did nothing to Primo and Fox. Well, that's unfortunate, but they clean up anyway. 5-4-0 Cuckoo, a double kill for him. That was the weirdest Stone Gate stolen, making the Requiem of Souls useless, but even then, the fight was just so good for them.
It was such a good positioning from Mineski, like Spirit Breaker charging in, creating chaos. The rest of Mineski coming from high ground, just killing the Clockwork, and then Gyrocopter coming from the low ground with the ultimate and the Black Cannon to the Tombstone. Like, but really good setup from them and Xctn.
That charge angle though, just like straight through Roche Pit, Clockwork, great positioning.
Yeah.
Just perfect Spirit Breaker angle. I don't know, that was a little bit unfortunate for Xctn, but Mineski, they've really been taking like better fights throughout the entire game, like slightly better positioning and all hookshot. Oh, gets blocked by his own teammate now.
Yeah, that's so sad when it happens. It's like very. You feel you start pinging on your teammate while you're standing in the way and things like that.
Oh man, it's Xctn must not be feeling too great about themselves now. I mean, Cuckoo, he just finished up the Eye of Skydia now, 2.4k on top of that. Jules is gonna have the Butterfly soon enough as well. Another BKB charge out from the Spirit Breaker in the meantime.
Yeah, he's just messing with them at this point. I wonder if he's gonna pick up this next item. Roche is going down as well. I don't think Xctn can contest. The hook shot was used, so they have no initiation power at all. But this is probably gonna be an Aegis on Shadow Fiend. But they are coming here now, but will it be too late? Yeah.
Well, Fox has a BKB if he can use it. There's the Stone Gaze. Cooldown will hit at least one, but Fox, I think he should be able to clean up the Rubik, and he will be. Oh no, Glimmer Cape! He just provides so much magic resistance with the hookshot. They do get the kill, but Primo is pretty low. Not enough mana left. Cuckoo tries to channel it out. Doesn't do that much damage due to the just distance, but still with the Shadow Races to follow. But the Death Ward from the high ground. Nice positioning, Cuckoo. He's gonna lose his Aegis almost immediately. But now the charge coming
Shadow
into
Blade.
He wants blood. He's probably gonna get some as well. Nether Strike into BGO1. Gets a straight out bash to follow. And now Primo, Dragon Slave is there, Glimmer Cape, trying to just make him... Well, he might even be able to survive. I don't think anybody saw him go into those trees, so it's not a disaster in the end. I mean, they get the Aegis, they kill the Rubik and only lose their own supports.
Yeah, but still, Mineski is taking every fight is in their favor, and they're just getting more ahead. Shadow Blade picked up on Spirit Breaker, which is a great item. So you can just charge the backlines and then you Shadow Blade, and they can't actually see you charging. So you can get like 5 4-man charges, and no one even knows what's happening.
Yeah, Execration now, they should know that the Shadow Blade is there, so maybe gonna try to just place extra sentries on the map. Although at the moment they even have 2 down as well, near where they fought. But they need way more, and I think the just most hurtful thing for Execration is that Fox, he only has 4 Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, actually Couchor got the gem from Rubik, which is a big deal, and then the Shadow Blade from Spirit Breaker kind of gets nullified immediately, so that's a good start for them, at least.
It's something, and they really need like anything that they can.
Yeah.
But is that gonna be entirely enough? I mean, at the moment, yes, they have the gem, so it's gonna be helpful, but they need to find like a winning formula in those fights. But how can they take such a fight?
They need to like continue fighting well and like better maybe even. But the BKBs are going down on the side of Mineski. Like I think they're 6 and 7 second BKBs now. And when those BKBs get low, we're gonna see the power from Leshrac. I think if he can pick up maybe another item, he's gonna do a lot of damage in these fights.
Yeah, I think at least in the last fight, for example, one of the key things was just the Stone Gaze on Medusa. And in the next fights as well, they're gonna have to have Medusa like in the middle of the fight, prevent Gyrocopter, prevent Shadowfiend from just getting off easy right clicks or just easy spells that way. Although, if you can, of course, like last fight as well, I think it was, the Stone Gaze, they got the Rubik that low, and the Leshrac just finished the Rubik off. And Rubik, to be honest, he can do quite a bit in those fights if left alive. First of all, he provides the extra magic resistance to everybody he's close to. Then he can just steal a couple of spells, get the telekinesis, multiple fate bolts, just helping out with damage and everything. So if they can just get like a Lina and Rubik down at the start of the fight, then it's just so much easier to go for the cores next.
Yeah, they are smoked now as well, doing this. Actually, they smoked Medusa, but she's not even close.
Jules, can they get the stun on him before the BKB? He pops the BKB, cooldown is gonna be their hit, all 3, you know. Only 2 for now, but can they get some kills, Jules? His BKB is gonna wear off, and after that, he's quite vulnerable, and now nice Death Ward coming out. They don't have vision to use him or anything. Jules still dropping low, getting a little bit of health back, but Fox, he's gonna go down himself afterwards, so it's a 2 for 1 for now. Yui gonna get used up to the Requiem of Souls, BKB channel. Yui takes quite a bit of damage, but he's pretty durable for now. But he's gonna be taken out anyway in the end, and in the meantime, stolen Death Ward with the Glimmer Cape, but they have a sentry straight there. Primo didn't care at all about it, although the charge coming in. Stone Gaze is about to end, but he got that stone form off before. They just need 1 hit from that Eye of Skadi and it's gonna be a kill. Or can they get the bash immediately? Jesse Vash going for it. Well, that was a scary thing. I don't think the Nether Strike would have been there in time, but they had the Light Strike array as well.
Yeah, that was pretty well played from Mineski. All their fights are pretty good. They're like splitting up correctly and kiting the heroes that needs to be kited. In this fight it was Medusa. And they're playing a lot better in the team fights. They seem to be a lot more coordinated than Execration. Now I think it's gonna be very hard. This Shadowfiend is getting too big. I think both carries have Butterfly, yes, and I don't think Medusa has his Monkey King Bar yet. Not sure if he's even going for it.
It does have a Demon Edge, but
yeah,
he might not even have enough time. Oh, another BKB from Chishivash. Charge did get cancelled, I think, somehow. But Chemo still gonna lose his life. Kuku just with his BKB keeps on right-clicking well low. He might lose his life. Maledict is there. Death Ward as well. No, the Glimmer Cape! Oh, Geo just bailing out his buddy there.
Yeah, good item. Couchor still has a gem, so he can... I don't think he's gonna go here, but they have something against the Glimmer Cape, but it's not there in time. He actually makes a blind hook shot. Kind of blind, but it doesn't hit.
So Mineski, just look at the kills. 40 to 18. That's... We used to be at a... First of all, Execration went for a 5-1 lead, and it was like 12 to 11 at some point, and now it's 40 to 18.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of work here, and only range tracks down, I think, yeah. So Milirex are gonna regen, so this game is still going, and
just look Medusa. At the graphs. What the hell? 25k plus net worth, yeah. 30k plus in XP.
Considering the graphs, this game is very even.
Indeed.
Like this game feels like if you look at the graphs, you're like this game should be over, but it's still possible for Execration to make a comeback. Medusa maybe can pick up a Monkey King Bar and a Divine, and they could make a lot of work here. but
Well, it's gonna require a lot of time to get both of those items
Yeah.
ready for them, or just some key kills. I mean, at the moment, since Jarofin is that far ahead in net worth, getting a kill on him is gonna just give you so much gold. But the thing is, I think in the fights, what's kind of helping Mineski out for the most part is their supports have way more impact than execrations.
yeah, the Witch Doctor we've seen good ultimates, but he's 2 on a level. He need Aghanims to have the damage, so he hasn't been doing enough. Yes, yeah, like I said, he's been doing a good ultimate, but it's not enough because Mineski is just way too farmed with the heroes having over Shadowfin having 2.6k HP and the Gyrocopter just having the butterfly as well, just tanking through all the damage.
But they're still trying to just go high ground at the moment. Although, never mind, Couchor just TPs into the mid lane instead with his booster travels, pushing out multiple lanes at once. Although if they get picked off or if they get initiated upon, it's also harder to escape. But they're just playing it slow now. Is it them waiting for the next Roshan? Because we're already at the 7-minute mark from the point it got killed. So it's a maximum 4 minutes when it's gonna respawn now.
I think they're just looking for high ground defense here and maybe a smoke to Roche when it's up. I think they realize they can't fight 5 versus 5 without something in their favor like the high ground or maybe a good Roche initiation. So they probably just gonna wait and hope that Medusa can carry this late game. And I think it's possible, but the thing is, Spearpick is gonna pick up AC, and then like we have like these items now that you can buy to boost attack speed. I don't even remember. Moonshard, I think it is. Yeah. So you can buy those items as well, so you get even stronger. But that's of course Medusa can do the same, but it's more likely that Gyro and Shadowfiend will get it first. So.
Man, Owa wanted to steal a split earth now, but Pulse Nova was activated just before by Leshrac. And that's really not an ability that the Rubik wants. I mean, he's struggling with his mana pool as it is because he doesn't have Arcane Boots, has Face Boots instead. But it's fine as long as you have something stolen, I guess. And it's not that long of a cooldown anyway, only, what, 16 seconds you can steal a spell. Although, yeah, he's gonna have an Aghanims really soon, like in 300 gold, so there's gonna be a 2-second cooldown on the spell steal.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, no, Spearbreaker. I thought he was gonna go for the Clockwork, but Clockwork just forced us out, and then Spearbreaker cancels the charge. Actually, Spearbreaker is so farm mode now. He uses ultimate to kill creeps. I think Mineski is trying to keep the lanes pushed and just wait until Roche, and maybe they're looking for some core items with the AC. I'm not sure if Shadowfin and Gyro has any big pickups coming.
Monkey King Bar is gonna be there on Gyro in about 1k.
Yeah. And I guess Shadowfin wants to have Satanic before they make Satanic a really good item to have when you're pushing, so he's probably gonna go for that next. Maybe he has it already? Yeah, it's just got delivered to him. So that's a big item for him, and he can still carry the Aegis if he drops the Yules. And
are we gonna have an E-Blade on Delina at the moment? He has enough gold going towards the side shop or secret shop. Is or would E-Blade be worth it?
It's okay item. Like if you already are using Ghost Scepter, you have it, and you don't have item slots, which you don't. It's a pretty good item, but I'm not sure if it's a better one. I think he could still go for Aghanims, but they aren't like BKBs up on the side of Execration, so it's not that like it's a big item pick, except Leshrac, but that's not the hero that he needs to kill. That's he should focus on the supports, I think, more.
Man, Rubik just having some fun, although didn't completely calculate the regeneration rune timing there. Just because he had the regeneration rune, but he kept on having the Pulse Nova activated, and in the end only got about half just mana back because he was playing around for too long.
Yeah, and is there any big item picks up on the side of Execration? I'm not sure. The Medusa is having steady progress, so that's good. Leshrac is having a lot of gold in his bank. I'm not sure what he's gonna go for. I guess he wants buyback first, but I would suggest a Shivas on his side. And Clockwork is having pretty good cheap items. That's like how you usually play this hero now, with the Glimmer Cape is a really good item to win. But he kind of wants Aghanims as well as next item, I think. Maybe a Ghost Scepter, but that's gonna be a lot of cheap items win then. But mainly the Witch Doctor needs Aghanims for them to have some fights, and hits level 16.
Yeah, that Aghanims isn't coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's just... he doesn't even have a single component for it at the moment. Their supports have really been having a bad game, and Roshan already down, just so easy for them. They get the Aegis, they should have a cheese as well from this here Owa, holding on to that one.
Yeah. He's probably gonna try and deliver it to his teammates. But so I guess I thought the Shadowfiend would drop an item, honestly, to carry Aegis or Cheese, because he's the one that's gonna siege, because this Gyrocopter is not as tank, he's like a lot less tanky than Shadowfiend. So Shadowfiend is a lot better at sieging, also because he has Satanic. But I guess he wants to have all his items right now. He doesn't want to drop anything for Aegis, and I think they can siege either way.
Yeah, it's just, there's no tier 3, so it makes it that much easier all of a sudden, and well, he's in the front lines, although he can't take too much harassment, because one nice stun plus like a Stone Gaze follow-up might be the end of him. But he's just buying time. The homing missile hit the Medusa as well. There's the Yule Scepter, dodging the paralyzing cask. Chemo pops his ultimate. Can they get Couchor really? They're gonna slow him down, but the call down onto Primo. Can they have some lockdown in return? Chemo just takes way too much AoE damage to Flacken and Jules. He's gonna lose his Aegis almost immediately. They didn't get too much value out of that, in all honesty. But the Death Ward is there, doesn't do all that much either. Force the forward. Oh, what a nicely just done play there. Death Ward was also stolen, I think. Yes, Owa, he has it if he wants to use this. He's gonna put it to great use. He has an Aghanim Scepter as well, so it's gonna be a lot stronger than the Witch Doctor's own. Fox gonna lose his life. Does have a buyback, but that was just painful.
Yeah, I think Rubik played really well. He stole the Tombstone as well, and then stole the Witch Doctor ultimate, so that's really good steals. And they might be able to kill the Shadowfiend buyback on Leshrac as well. But, yeah.
Well, they only get one set of racks. They don't get the kill on Medusa, although they even used Requiem of Souls, but Glimmer Cape was there, providing invis. JC now, he charges in, has the Nether Strike, but he gets stunned before the Cogs do actually bring him back to safety. Nether Strike out from those Cogs, or no, Manta style, disjointing the first one, and she's just gonna die, or is he? He is. Power Cogs, push back too strong, although Primo slowed down, removed from the game, although does have buyback, so he's gonna be ready to fight once more. But can they get those kills? Jules is dropping pretty low, so I think Primo is gonna even clean up. No, never mind, still had the cheese. All is fine, and Primo, if that's dieback, that's game.
Yeah, that's probably game. I don't think there's a way to make a comeback here unless we see some major throws from Mineski. Leshrac is probably gonna go down to the Shadow here, as well as he might actually get the kill on Lina, but the follow-up is here. Spirit comes charging in, and they're gonna kill the Tombstone and clean up the fight there, I think.
I must say, stolen Split Earth by Rubik is filthy, because Rubik, he was like running away from the Leshrac, and suddenly Split Earth appeared onto Leshrac. Just out of the blue. Rubik didn't even turn around properly, just Split Earth.
Yeah, Rubik making some plays here in the later stages of the game. Also delivering the cheese to Yules so he could use it in the teamfight so he could survive, which was well played from him. But just it was a pretty one-sided game, even though it looked like Xctn had some potential in the fights as well as making some good plays. But every fight went in Mineski's favor, and they took control of the game and just outfarmed.
Yeah, it's really Mineski showing some pretty great teamwork in both games, to be honest. And with this, they run through the group stage 6-0, just winning every single series 2-0 straight out. I think Xctn, due to this loss here, are unable to advance to the playoffs. I'm not too sure. I think it's gonna be... Oh, which team was it? How can I even forget? Yeah, Click and Search. I think it's going to be the second team to advance to the playoffs, but not entirely sure how it works. I think there's a bubble race, so all of them might get to playoffs. Have to just put my hands up, don't know. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the games as well as the casting. And if you did, you can check us out on HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter. For me, it's at Couchor. For my co-caster, at Kefka Dota. And Kefka, do you have any last words?
Just well played from Mineski. I can say that these games were pretty fun to watch. I really enjoyed, especially the first game with a lot of action. So it was maybe it's a good scene to follow, a lot of action. Yeah,
so guys, for today we are done. We will have some Class A action as well. Let me just check the schedule fast. I think it's on the 26th of May. Yeah, it's gonna be Pacific versus Trick, and then like Imba, Philippines versus the winner of the previous one, where TNC is already waiting in the final. But for today, I think we're done. Or no, let me check. I think there's one more game, but not on this channel. Yes, on Game Show EN on Hitbox, we're gonna have Burden versus Fiskstanga at 18 CT for the Game Show Invitational. So if you want to know, or want to know when we go live, just check out our Facebook and Twitter like said before. And with this, guys, just a few songs to finish the stream, and have a good one.